I almost think... Oh, I ruined it.
Always talk when we start. Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 51, and we spoke about it last week that we were going to do 50 rapid fire questions. And within the last 30 seconds, we've just sourced the questions. And we did say we'd do a story, but obviously we forgot because we're just such busy coaches. And I'm not even joking, that is the truth, because we're just so rammed with clients. So basically, I've just typed in 50 rapid fire questions on Google. It was really hard to find. The first thing that came up, I've sent it to Reece. I'm going to do one at a time. We're going to alternate. The only thing is we can see the questions. So we're trying to like zoom in and not look so that it's still going to be quick fire. So we don't have time to think about our answer. Should we have a bit of a chat before we do that?
No, I think we should get straight in. Then we have a chat. That's going to be, so we have like half an eye on the storm, and then we go into the list of questions.
Ignite conversation. By the way, have you got a little fan?
I've got a fan. Look, you see it in the corner? But I've not got a little fan.
Is it little or is it a big one?
Can you not see it? There.
Yeah, but it looks like it could be a small one on the table, mate. Like it looks.
Oh no, mate, it's huge. Like,
that is literally what it looks like.
No, it's massive. Yeah, true. It's massive.
Mine's better.
That's fine.
Not about size, mate.
Okay, I've been told. But at least both of ours are black. Fan size.
Yours is big and black. Mine's just small and black. Rare, to be fair.
Yeah. Very
maybe not. Stereotypical. Can't be saying that. Okay. So, are you ready? Are you doing number one for me, or am I doing number one for you?
You start. I'll go second.
Oh, the second question's shit.
I haven't read the second question. Right. I'll go first. Right. What's your favourite drink?
Pepsi Max. That's what's in there.
Yeah.
When are you most productive?
Mornings.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, your question. My question.
These are supposed to be quick fire.
Who is your inspiration and why?
Fucking hell, it's not very quick fire, is it? I've got to think.
FK7, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. To be fair, growing up like footballers, I wouldn't say I am inspired by a certain individual.
Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say I inspire myself with my work ethic. I don't have one direct inspiration. I'd say I have multiple people who I respect in different realms of the world, whether it be football or bodybuilding or business, but I don't.
This is too long. Come on.
I don't have a certain inspiration. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Okay.
Mate, I keep forgetting. What's something new in your life right now?
Something new. That would have been a good one for you because you got your car. Something new in my life. Oh, I've got FK t-shirts for the team.
Okay.
What's your favourite number and why?
Ooh. Number 9, R9 Ronaldo. I like that. I like number 9.
Yeah, good one.
Yours is 7, wouldn't it be? Yeah, I'm guessing.
7 or 17 because a nanny.
Yeah, right. Your favorite? Oh no, is it my? Yeah, your favorite cake flavor.
Now, I don't really like cake, to be honest. But if I had to pick a favorite flavor, either like a lemon cake.
Lemon number 1 for me.
Lemon and poppy seed cake is good, or a carrot cake. I don't like chocolate cake or like just standard boring flavors.
Never had a carrot cake in my life.
This is a good one. How do you start your day?
Waking up, getting out of bed.
Hey.
No, literally. Right now, cardio 4 times a week. If not, going for a walk.
The answer on here is I pray and then get ready for the day. Why don't you pray?
Yeah, I'm just, we're the podcast for atheists. That's it.
Yeah, atheist.
No hate to any religions out there.
Yeah.
Any religions, any religious people.
No offense.
Sorry.
No offense that we're atheists.
I'm a theist. I've said this before. Like, I believe there's something, but I don't know what. Do you think there's nothing? Do you think there's absolutely nothing?
Yeah, to be fair, I do. I think there's nothing. I don't want to believe that, and I think as I approach death, I'll probably think, "Oh, I wish I believed more," and maybe I will later in life. But right now, I'm very realistic, and I think, you just die.
Yeah.
All right, end of the podcast. Leave it there. Go cry.
In which subject were you worst at school?
None. I was a fucking legend. I wouldn't say I had a bad. I didn't have a bad subject. I'm not being. That sounds like I'm being a right twat, but I can't think of one that I was.
You like lowest setting though, mate. You know,
none. I was top set everything.
I was like very low set French, and in high school.
Oh yeah, but who?
No,
like,
no.
I just didn't try it.
Like, yeah, languages would be your drama, your PE, and like one of the like cooking, whatever. And mate, because I was in like very low sets, I was with the people that couldn't even write their own name on like the piece of paper.
Couldn't even write their own name in French.
Mate, I literally found it hilarious because all like I'd be like maths and English, I'd be in top or second set, and the ones that like important, and then everything else, I was like with these guys who literally turned up always late, never turning up, getting in arguments. I loved it. It was like the best thing I've ever done.
Late, mate. That's where you got it from.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah.
I must have been bad at like I say, I wasn't necessarily bad at anything, but there was ones that I just didn't give a shit, and I couldn't be arsed with. Like I wouldn't try. So like French was just, I was like, I don't really care. I don't want to learn a language. Things like woodwork, I had to do woodwork, like where you like fucking making shit. Like, I was never bothered about that. I used to do cooking. I love cooking, mate. I did cooking as a GCSE. Like I was,
that's like the GCSEs that you think, this is easy, like a fluke.
No, mate, it's not easy. It was fucking hard, but I was good at it, and I used to really enjoy cooking. But yeah, I'd say I was bad. Maybe bad. Yeah, I'd say I was just bad. Like I'll go with like what you said, like French or something like that. Because I just didn't really. I had no interest in it. Or RE. I've just said I had no interest in RE.
I liked RE. I thought RE was pretty good. I did that as a GCSE. Yeah. I went to a Christian school, so I was relatively quite involved. No, but mine was like super serious. But like my Bible knowledge was immense at like 10. So yeah, religious education wasn't too bad. Your question, mate.
In which subject were you best at school?
Maths or probably PE.
Yeah, PE.
Yeah. Right. What advice would you give your young self?
Don't worry about what anyone else thinks or anyone's opinion of you, and do what you want to do. Don't feel like you can't do something, like because it's not the social norm or because it's potentially going to be hard or you might not make enough money or whatever. Just do what you want to do. If you're passionate about it, you'll be good at it. And if you work hard enough, you can make something of anything. So inspirational, mate. Get that clipped up for a reel.
Honestly, mate, it was good. I thought if you say it with sarcasm, I actually could be slightly motivated.
Yeah, I know. I can't be serious with stuff like that. I quite like to be a bit sarcastic at times, but still give a good message, you know?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just end up crying. Or there'll be like a random, just all of a sudden, Machiavelli motivation will make something and it'll just be on and I'll be in it.
And then in the background, they've got like, someone doing a bicep curl.
And I'm there going, you can do anything you want with my voice.
You can do anything that you want. Go
on. What scares you?
Being average, bro.
You've read that. You read that before, didn't you? I knew you read it.
Yeah, I thought of that just when you said it.
For it.
No, right, what scares me? Spiders, don't like spiders.
Mate, yeah, theirs is insects. For everybody listening, they've got answers here. Like someone's been asked.
Just in case you didn't know what you're scared of.
The answer to that one was insects.
Being average.
The answer to the what advice would you give your young self was relax, don't worry too much, and live each day to the fullest. Focus on what you have and not what you do not have. It's quite good, that.
Yeah. Cats or dogs?
Dogs, but I've never had one.
Gym pinning dogs.
Yeah, gym pinning dogs. I had a cat. I had a cat when I was really young that died before I even remember. And I had another cat that was like through my whole childhood that died like a couple of years ago. But I've never had a dog, but I do want a dog. Me and Shannon are going to get a dog when we get a house. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would that be?
Either in Barnsley, because Cuba and Eden live there. Oh, everybody's listening. Barnsley's a place to be. AJ and Cuba.
No. It was Cuba lives there, and AJ. Oh my God.
Way. Bardsley's the place to be. And that means Meg and
Loz. You forget Loz's name all the time. How do you forget Loz's name?
Meg and Loz both live there. Wow. And Thorburn and George. Fuck it out. No. To be fair, I quite like living what I do now. I'd like to live in England.
I bet you do. It's cheap living at your mum's.
Yeah, exactly. If it wasn't England, it would be. I'd like to live in America. I think America. So much shit over there. Like I don't know. I don't really know. I'd have to experience it. I think Canada seems quite good. Like from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. So something like that. If it was, it would probably be like United States or Canada, somewhere like that. I think that would be quite a cool place to live. I've always wanted to live there, if I'm honest. But right now, England. Wow. Right. What would you change about yourself?
Size of my penis.
Fair enough. Next question.
If it was smaller, it's just so like it gets in the way. Fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
What's something that you do not like doing?
Something I don't enjoy doing. I don't really not. I genuinely don't. I can't think of something I don't enjoy doing. Most of the things I do on a daily basis, I enjoy. There's not like a thing that I'm like, oh, I have to do this. You know, filling up your car before you train and stuff, petrol, that annoys me. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I have to do it before I train. I want to just get to the gym after I've had my pre-workout.
In athlete mode, aren't you?
In athlete mode, yeah. I'm not in petrol filling up mode.
You end up ragging it. Ah!
Oh, God.
End up accidentally bicep curling it. You're like, fuck, I'm supposed to be filling it up, not training with it.
Exactly. What's something you like doing?
Coaching, a job. I was going to name numerous things because there's numerous things that I do that I like, but I'll just go with one, otherwise we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
What's your hobby?
Ooh, going to the gym, believe it or not. It's really, really wild, that.
Learning so much about you. These 50 questions.
Honestly, the listeners are learning so much. Who do you love the most?
Shannon.
Oh, mate, it says here my family. So you could have said family and like loved ones.
Yeah, my family and Shannon then.
Yeah, fair. So what, you picked Shannon over Penny?
I don't know. I do love Penny.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Penny's an absolute legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think either of them will listen to this. There's more chance my mum will listen to it than Shannon, so I'll pick my mum.
Fair enough. Clever.
Shannon, if you're listening, I'm only picking mum because she might listen.
And mum, if you're listening, I'm picking you because it's you. Right, you're on, mate.
Have you ever been in love?
Question. No, I've never actually. I don't know what love that.
Mate, what are you on about? You've got a soulmate.
Oh, yeah. So now I put a TikTok up earlier for people that don't know, saying, when you find your soulmate and go on holiday together. It's
not like soulmate, it's you two. You just both train and you think you're all right. It's not soulmates, is it?
Mate, do you believe in soulmates? Because I don't.
Look at this. I'm going into great depth here. These questions are so thought-provoking.
I don't believe in soulmates. I'm sorry. I've never said that.
I don't believe in soulmates. There's that many people in the world that I don't think there's one person. And it's also very unlikely that one person seems to live in the same place as you, or like, you know, when people are like with their child, like their school sweetheart or whatever you call it, high school sweetheart, and they're like, we're soulmates. It's like, no, you're not. You just fancied each other in year 7 and then you settled and you're pretty happy. And you're probably not pretty happy, to be fair. Probably just settled.
No.
But yeah, the soulmates. To be fair, Shannon got me some socks ages ago that say soulmates on, but because soul is the sole of a sock, sole of your foot, and it's got my photo on. It's quite nice. They're quite nice, to be fair.
Yeah, it sounds fucking cringy and diabolical.
Yeah, it sounds diabolical, does it?
What is success for you?
Having so many clients that I can post my new car on Instagram and get loads of likes.
Fair play.
What about you? Same thing.
They literally took the words right out of my mouth.
Now, to be fair, success, I'd say for me, is having freedom, being happy, like in my day-to-day life, not just in my spare time where I can be away from work, like just being content, and earning enough to be comfortable. Which, to be fair, is quite interesting actually, because me and the lads the other day or yesterday in the car were talking about what different people would class financially comfortable as. And for me, being financially comfortable is being able to just live without stressing. You know what I mean? Like not stressing about, oh shit, I've got to save money for this or that, or I can't spend on that because I need to, like just being able to not worry about money and like I say, be happy in what I do.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Yeah, you like the dark, don't you?
Yeah, I like things that are sad and cold and dark and lonely.
Is that why you said you're more productive in the mornings, yeah?
I'm more productive in the morning.
So contradictory. You're lying to us.
No, I just don't think a sunrise is that impressive. To be fair,
you've never been awake for a sunrise, have you?
Hey, I don't know. I don't think you could show me any sunrise or sunset and I'd be like, huh? Sound looks nice. That'd be it.
Yeah, that's just how we are. That's why people hate us. So we've got no opinion.
Podcast.
Instead, we should go,
Mate, am I 23? That an ad's popped up. Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, you just scroll.
I couldn't see it. Fair enough. What's your favourite colour?
Blue. I don't really know, but blue popped into my head. But I wouldn't really say that I have a specific one, but I'll go with blue. What about you?
Not blue.
All right, sound. We'll move on.
So not blue. We'll go from there. Right, moving on. Your one, mate.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla, 100%. Vanilla ice cream, chocolate way, but I don't think like either are amazing. If I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. What's your favourite food?
Again, I don't really have one.
It would make, mate, you probably say like a pizza just because it's a social type.
I don't know. Yeah, I like pizza, but I'm not like obsessed with pizza. Maybe I'll tell you what, cookie dough dessert. Oh, yeah, that's my favourite food. Yeah, I do like pizza. Yeah. That makes as sad as it sounds. Like, I fucking love my chicken and rice meal. Still,
mate. I love chicken and rice. I could have chicken and rice most meals and be sound, very content. I
absolutely love it.
Yeah,
it just sits so well. It tastes nice. It digests sound. Like it smells good. Spot on.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Depends. Like if it's favorite food, like I would live off like chicken and rice all day, but every day if I had to for the rest of my life. So I'm such a BB, but I wouldn't live off cookie dough dessert.
No, like I'd say pizza is my favorite food if it was like an off-plan meal, like, and I had one option. But if you said to live off something every day, chicken and rice would be the number one. I couldn't. When food gets high, the last thing I want is pizza.
The next question is, what's your favorite dessert?
I should
I've popped it really.
Yeah, I should have said this to you. I don't really have a favorite dessert. I don't have a favorite. Yeah, I don't have a favorite dessert. There's not one. I don't really like any desserts. They don't sit well with me. So I don't.
Not why you had loads after your show.
I had one, and it's my birthday.
Mate, you've been to that place numerous times. Don't lie.
Numerous.
You actually have.
And Sanai's birthday twice in 9 months.
You've been about 4 or 5 times. I've seen you in.
After prep, you went literally to a dessert place every Sunday after your Saturday off-plan meal for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. You're pretending that you didn't do this. I'm happy to be like, yeah, it was nice.
Why would I deny? I don't like food like that.
Well, why were you there all the time then?
All the time.
You were.
Mate, twice. Right. It's my one now. What's the first thing you notice about someone when you meet them? How fucking big they are. You're like,
yeah, whether they train or not. No, it's not really. I don't know actually. Maybe height. Because if someone's really tall, you'd notice that straight away.
Yeah, you think
really small.
Yeah.
But then also, if someone was average height, you wouldn't be like, oh, you're average height.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. Whether someone this is literally just like whether someone is, let's say, clean.
Yeah,
you're not,
mate. You're not either,
mate. I'm never a mess. My car's not a mess. I don't have grubby.
My car is fine. My car is literally sound.
Yeah, because you bought it the other day, and it's worse than mine, which I've had for months.
It's not, mate. It's the exact same. Right, we've got 8 minutes to
It's
go
really
off.
not. Yeah, let's smash through.
Yeah, right. Best fashion.
No, it's my go. It's my go. Best fashion advice you've ever gotten.
I've never gotten fashion advice.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Coming from you, who wears literally what you took. You stopped wearing your what's Vibrams because somebody put an Insta story of them, but you don't wear them anymore.
Why I stopped wearing them? I just started going barefoot, and I thought this feels like the same as Vibrams. I'm a Vibrams.
Yeah. Right. What's the best compliment you've ever gotten?
I don't know.
Mine's in progress works. You got sick calves, bro.
Yeah.
Take that to the grave.
I don't know, really. I don't really recall any specific amazing compliments. People are nice, aren't they?
Yeah. I
don't know. I think, to be fair, I remember Shannon when we were first together. When we were first talking. She made me a little card, or she bought me a card and wrote in it, and it was said something about me being really kind and thoughtful even when I'm busy or something like that. I'm fucking so much busier now. I barely pay her any attention. So back in the day, mate, I was good. I was on it, but that was quite nice. But I guess I've not done that now.
Right, your one, mate. We got literally got to get through 20.
Favorite TV show?
I've recently finished Sopranos, Wire, and Breaking Bad. Them three are on the pedestal for me. Sopranos, Wire, Breaking Bad.
Okay, go.
Right, 31. If you could be an animal, what would it be?
Rhino.
Good, really good answer.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Ooh.
Dick.
Yeah, dick. I don't really know. There's nothing. I was a vegetarian until I was 13. I'm quite peculiar with what I eat. I haven't ate anything wild. What have you ate? Cool. Describe yourself in 5 words.
Huge.
Huge.
Kind. Hardworking. Approachable.
Lonely twat.
And loving. That was good, that. Yeah. Only twat is too many words, mate. Otherwise, I'd have fit it in.
Sorry.
Tell me the nickname your parents, or parent for you, mate, sorry about that, used to call you when you were little.
Reece or Porky Moo, because I was a bit of a chubby kid, so Porky. Yeah, but
you're a fat mess. Yeah. Porky Moo, that should be your Instagram name.
Yeah, serious. Right, what's your favourite
Porky Moo coaching?
Yeah, PM coaching. What is your favourite childhood memory?
When I pissed in my sister's hands.
I've never heard that. We'll go into that in a different one. You're on it.
What's something you don't like? You've already had that. Oh no, don't like doing. What's something you don't like? Sanaya.
No, something I don't like. Oh mate, I don't know. We said earlier, this is just off the top of my head. Why do people care?
Yeah,
maybe we care.
Why do
people care about things people shouldn't care about, and it's baffling. That's what we'll go with. What's your favourite flower? A poppy.
Plain flower. Self-raising. On a scale from 1 to 10, how good are you when it comes to keeping secrets?
I would say around 9, because sometimes I do not talk about the secret when it's not a secret anymore, or I talk about it, but if many years...
Mate, that's not your answer. That's the one on the sheet. To be fair, I would say,
I'm quite good.
If someone said, don't tell anybody, I wouldn't tell anyone.
Yeah, it depends on the severity of it. If it's...
if someone told me,
No, understandable. Yeah, understandable. But sometimes people say, I'll tell you a secret. In reality, it's...
Yeah.
Not really a secret. What is your best feature?
My arms.
Fair enough.
When were you the happiest?
I'd say now, or when Liverpool beat Barcelona 4-0. I was like, that was elation after the game. That was
that happy right now. You just
no,
said maybe
no. Right now, all throughout the day, I'm the happiest I've been. But then I was also the same 6 months ago. So after that game, I legitimately remember it was like, I was like, there is not a care in the world. I am over the moon. When I passed my driver's test and I got my driver's license, that was
I was buzzing when I got mine.
Yeah, that was a very good feeling.
Yeah, that was.
Right, 9 questions in 4 minutes, easy. If you could say one thing to God, what would you say?
I'd say if he's in control of everything, why is there so much shit that goes on in the world?
That's such a generic answer.
Or I'd say, like, sort me out, mate. I don't really believe, but if you are real, just sort me out in the afterlife, yeah?
Yeah.
Probably say that one. I'd be a bit more selfish. Have you ever stolen anything?
Yeah, match tax when I was like 10.
Really?
Mate.
You little shit.
No, I had a mate called Ilias, and he used to grab like a pack and put them in my hood.
Oh, yeah, someone else.
Yeah, and then he'd be like, and I'd be like, yeah, check your hood. Yeah, mate, sweets. When you were a kid, you go in, put a sweet in your mouth.
No. One thing I've ever stolen in Tesco, and I ate it there, and I was like, I felt so bad. Right, you're right, little shit.
Tell me one secret.
I don't really have any secrets. Do I have any secrets that you know?
I don't know. I don't think you told me anything that you've gone, oh, that's a secret.
I don't think I have any secrets.
No. Fair enough, right? We'll carry on. We'll move on. No answer. Sorry for everybody.
People are going to hate me. People are going to be like, well, you couldn't have a podcast if you got no secrets.
Everyone has secrets.
Do you consider yourself as a boring or a fun person?
Neither. I'm like probably in the middle.
That's a boring answer.
Yeah, boring answer. I'm quite in the middle, I'd say. I'm not like fun, super energetic. I'm just me. Yeah. So if you find me boring, then cool.
Yeah, I think people probably do find us boring, mate. I'd say we're boring.
Okay, fair enough. We're boring. What's your favourite alcoholic beverage?
Malibu and Coke. Or no, Malibu and Coke or gin and lemonade.
Okay, fair enough.
What about you?
Vodka and Coke. Simple, easy. And I'm not a connoisseur. You've drank like I've never even drank.
I'm an alcoholic, yeah.
What is
the first thing you notice when it comes to the opposite gender?
Wait, the answer here, their eyes. Fuck off. No, it's not.
It might be.
No. Well, it depends, really. It depends on the context. Depends on the scenario. Their personality.
Oh,
no, I'd say as a male, as a lad, you genuinely would be like, depends on how the conversation is and how the context is, but you usually think, oh, she's attractive or she's not attractive. You know, it's not. It doesn't have to be sexual.
It's more than one thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What's your favourite position in bed?
Have you seen their answer? They've absolutely bottled it. This is a tricky question. I love all of them.
Getting pegged is my favourite.
Yeah, I love getting bent over. To be fair, I think it depends. In prep, like, I'm not doing any work. So Shannon's on top. Like, reverse cowgirl. I quite like that. When I'm in prep and I just can relax.
Yeah.
It's all right. But I mean, to be fair, it depends at the point in prep. Like, towards the end, there's no positions at all. It's just going to sleep. When I'm not in prep, like, I don't mind. I can do a bit more. I'll put in some effort. So any, all of them. I love them all.
We bottled this. It's going to cut off. What do you reckon we should just...
Are you happy where you are in life right now? Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any tattoos? No. What is the worst thing about you? Reece stinks of shit. Sorry, mate. I never told you that. That's a secret, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was a secret, yeah. Right. Part 2 in a sec. All right, guys, we're back on. Part 2, even though it's all connected together. Did you enjoy that, mate?
Yeah. I thought it took a little bit too much time for us. I thought it would be quicker than...
Yeah, they weren't that quick fire, were they?
They weren't rapid fire, but yeah. Right, update about yourself, mate. We'll try and keep this a bit shorter and sweet because obviously we've got a few questions. Yeah. How has your week been? Is there anything to report? Any positives? Any negatives?
Yeah, it's been a good week. I had the pleasure of Perrin, Miles, and Eden, so Miles' girlfriend, coming to visit over the past few days. They came Tuesday to Thursday, stayed in like an Airbnb, like 5 minutes outside of Loughborough. So that was really nice. Good to see them in person. Good to go through posing. Good for them to obviously train with us. That was really good, really nice. Been busy because obviously spending more time with them. Like obviously they were in the car, I was driving, they were in the car, so I'm a bit behind on work with like form videos. And like I said to you earlier, like I'm not behind at all, and my clients know that I'm busy. But I like really being on top of it, so that at the end of each day I'm almost like cleared my WhatsApp. And I've not been able to do that in the past like 2-3 days, which has been a bit of a stressor, but nothing major. I've gone to bed a tiny bit later in the past few days because we've got back a little bit later after posing and things like that. But yeah, all is good. I'm good. My left leg is playing up. I've just been to the physio. Aaron thinks it's just extreme tightness through my glute and my TFL, so like down the left side of my leg. So that was like very, very painful after hacks. I finished the leg session. We filmed it for YouTube, but yeah, it's just very weird, annoying pain. But yeah, I can work around it. It's not the end of the world. Other than that, all good, mate. Oh, like I said in the quick fire, I've got t-shirts for the team. They're all there. I've got yours. I need to give you it. To be fair, the 4XL doesn't actually look that big. But yeah, I need to.
The 4XL is going to be massive. It's going to be big on you. And I'm like,
but it's going to be bigger than you. It's not like it's going to be smaller than you. You're going to fit in it.
Yeah. But
it's not huge.
I don't think you understand the absolute fucking behemoth you're talking to here, mate. My skeleton, not actual muscle mass, my skeleton is resulting in me needing about 3 sizes bigger than my muscle mass holds. Yeah. So therefore, 4XL minimum, maybe 5.
True. It is true. What about you?
Yeah, sound. Trained all my sessions. I mean, I haven't missed a meal. I've literally not missed a session. And I've slept like a minimum of like 7 hours 30 per night, and I've actually drank water. So this week's been a success. We move forward, But no, good week. I was 112.2 kilos as of this morning. So that's 5 kilos down in total. So just over 10 pounds. Food's come down. Like I quite like being aggressive, if I'm honest. I'm probably a bit too aggressive initially, but I quite like it. I quite like the challenge, especially when you're fat, you can handle it. I am a bit leaner. I definitely can tell I'm leaner. Like Aaron today was like, mate, you're pushing like another 7 or 8 kilos. Your front's really lean. And I'm like, it's not. I'm not fat. I'm not soft and fat and watery. I'm a lot tighter, but I still can be leaner, and I should be leaner. So yeah, probably another 6-7 kilos. I reckon 105 to 107 kilos. I've said like multiple times because it's going to be the goal. So probably still a bit of work to do. Cardio's up to 4 times per week, which is nice. My routine, I was saying to you on Monday or Tuesday, I'm a lot more efficient. I'm getting through all my work, even though I'm doing cardio and I'm doing steps. My WhatsApps are just more consistent because I'm doing it at a set time when it comes to my walks. My check-ins are a set. Like I just feel a little bit more productive. I'm also not eating as much. Therefore, obviously, I'm not making my meals and eating my meals that take 15, 20, 25 minutes, which when food gets high, if you're eating 3 meals before you train and you're making them, that might take out an hour and a half potentially every morning. Where if your meals, they might take a bit of time to make, but I prep all my meals usually initially in the day, and then they take me 5 minutes to eat. So it's a lot less time, a lot more time, so a lot less time eating. So therefore, I feel more like I feel pretty good, to be fair. And like it's been that position now where obviously after surgery, it's been like now I'm 3-4 weeks back into the gym. So after that like initial couple of weeks, I feel like I'm at 100% now. So 100% volumes back up. And yeah, just time to crack on. I've got a holiday most likely come the 2nd of August for 2 weeks with family in Sanaya. So that'll be something that I'll be looking forward to go to. But it gives me a good 6 weeks of let's say cracking on with this fat loss phase. If I can be done and reversing my food back up the week prior, 2 weeks prior, that'd be fantastic. And that pretty much primes me for a good end to the year. So yeah, positives. Questions?
Nice one, mate. Yeah, cool. I don't know how many I've got.
No. Okay, so Jake Morrison, best federations to compete in for enhanced bodybuilding. Finn, do you know the answers?
UK FBA, and just make sure you really run quickly off stage so you don't get tested.
Or you just run really, really quick esters. Make sure everything just kind of drops out your system.
Yeah.
Just as they give you your first place stroke.
Just be smart with it.
Yeah, they'll drug test you and go, you're natty. It's fine, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you can lie on a polygraph, you'll be all right.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, federations, I'd say the top 3, like Two Bros is obviously like the pinnacle, but I think a lot of people compete in Two Bros, and it's like, if in my opinion, if you're not like going for a pro card, like I would personally prefer to compete in like the PCA or like FitX if it was like in the junior ranks personally. That's not factual, that's just my opinion. But I think Two Bros is good. Two Bros is obviously like the pinnacle for it's the NPC way to get a pro card, obviously in the UK. I think FitX is relatively cool. They're a new fed. And then likewise, I think PCA take different strides, a little bit different of a criteria. I quite like the PCA judging criteria. I think some parts of PCA is awfully cringy, if I'm honest. 60-second pose down being the number one. But I think everything else other than that. So FitX, PCA, and Two Bros would be my top 3, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I would agree, to be fair, mate. I would say, though, quick shout out to NFM.
The lighting, mate, is ridiculous, usually. The lighting is the NFM.
Yeah,
choice.
But it's also like every single person that I've ever spoke to that's competed with them says that they really enjoyed it and that they felt like they were really well looked after and stuff. So, like, fair play to them. They're obviously not as big of a fed as the others, but they seem to be doing the right things. Like the prize money's decent, the rewards are decent, they take people out to America and stuff like that. So yeah, I think they're doing pretty well to say they're a bit of a smaller one.
Yeah.
Okay. So first question, what's your go-to pre and post-workout meal? This is from Ryan Martin. Thanks for the question, mate.
Ryan Martin, Irish Ryan.
You can go first, mate.
Irish Ryan, client of yours?
No.
I've heard Martin. Is it Paul Martin? Yeah, Paul Martin, isn't it?
Yeah.
The UK.
This guy's from Australia.
Okay, so Ryan, to be fair, my pre and post have literally stayed identical for the best part of like probably 5 years. My pre-workout meal is rice and chicken, shock, and then I'll have a fat sauce with it usually. So dark chocolate is the fat sauce currently. And then I also have either like something to add in additional carbs if needed. So crumpet, bagels, jam, just for a bit of like fructose free. Quite like that sort of idea with how like a pre-workout meal set up. That will literally just depend. Like right now, it's literally 88 carb through rice, and then 1 crumpet and 25 grams of jam, and then likewise 40 grams of protein through chicken, 2 boxes of dark chocolate. At the heightened peak of a gaining phase, more carbs through crumpets and jam. And then post-workout has literally been cereal for the longest amount that I can think of, really.
Yeah, I've had cereal post-workout for an age. Although recently I have changed it slightly, so I just have a bit less cereal, and I actually have cream of rice and whey as the milk. Because cream of rice, you can basically drink it. It's like same consistency, really, a bit grainier, but same consistency as it is if you were to just have a whey protein shake. So that's a bit easy because it's less actual food volume and less chews. But yeah, pre-workout, I have cream of rice and bagels, crumpets, jam, dark chocolate in the cream of rice, whey on the cream of rice. And that's been the same for as long as I can remember. Ages. Even during prep, it was the same. I still had cereal. I had cereal post-workout all the way through. And I had my own cream of rice. And when I used to blend up rice and do my own cream of rice, I had that as pre. And that was awesome, to be fair, because I could volumize it like so much. So like, as I was getting more and more hungry, it was just getting bigger and bigger, but it was good. That was nice.
Yeah. Right, you either ever crossed either of your minds? There we go. To compete in a powerlifting comp?
No.
Neither. Never.
It'd make more sense for you. I'm not strong.
Yeah, I think I'd probably do quite well if it was like an only bench and.
I don't know, mate. Deadlift. Your form.
No, my squat. No, my style. I mean, if it was bench and deadlift, that'd be it. My squat would be.
No, you can't bench that much if you were to actually pause it on your chest.
I'd still be able to do 4 plates easily.
Okay.
What do you think of that? I got 180 for 8. I could get 180 for 1 single pause.
Okay. This is from Jack Eubank. He says, when are you and Ross Barkley going to make a football YouTube video?
Hey, this is so strange. I genuinely have been on TikTok. I've had like Reece Fit TikTok, by the way, guys, please follow. I've had legitimately, mate, like 6 or 7 like people say, like probably more than that. And Sanaya on her videos have had people comment like, "This guy looks exactly like Ross Barkley," and I only think
you happy with that?
No,
I wouldn't be happy with that. Yeah.
No, I don't think I look like him.
Comparison.
No, like the only reason why is I think like he has his hair currently the same way, like he has it like almost like ruffled and it's like a little bit curly.
He's got a face where you just know that he's a bit dim.
And I've got that face.
No, you haven't, but he has.
Yeah, I do agree. I personally don't. I see it with the hair.
I see it a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I literally, mate, I've been told it loads, and it like recently in the last like couple of weeks, it's like this is strange because Sanaya messaged who's Ross Barkley.
We should make a football YouTube video. That'd be good, but we need to be careful because got injured last time.
Yeah, that would actually be quite funny to get peed down. Which muscle is most limited by genetics when trying to build it?
Calves.
Yeah, I'd agree. And that's not just to say because your calves are appalling.
No, it's the case.
Yeah.
Andy Bewley, not Belwy.
Belwy, yeah.
Premier League top 6 predictions. Good one.
Top 6 predictions.
You go first. Actually, we'll go one at a time. So let's start from 6th.
That's hard. That I
prefer going from first then.
Okay. Can we? I want to say Liverpool, but I think City with Haaland. Oh, the predictions wise, mate, it's a safer bet to go City.
Just pick one.
Liverpool.
All right, I'll go. I would have said Liverpool, but I'll go City because it's different.
Oh, really? You would have gone Liverpool first next year?
Yeah, I like Liverpool.
Okay, sounds right. So Liverpool, City, 1 and 2. 3?
Nah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Spurs. Do you reckon? Conte's got in a few players. Suma, Perisic, bringing in players that he would be good with. Got a great midfield depth.
He is good, to be fair. He's a good manager, isn't he?
Reckon Arsenal with like Fabio Silva. You don't think? Mate, they've after some all right players.
Yeah, but it's Arsenal.
They get Rafinha as well, mate. A front 3 of Gabriel Jesus, Rafinha, and Saka. Oh, that's bad. And then Martinelli as a backup. Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Fabio Silva, Thomas Partey, midfield, mate.
It's Arsenal, isn't it? Right, come on. 3rd.
Spurs.
I'll say Chelsea. I'll say Chelsea. 4th, I'll say Spurs.
I'm going to go Arsenal 4th.
5th, United. 6th, Arsenal.
5th, Chelsea. 6th, United.
Cool. We'll come back to that.
Yeah. We should write that down and then have a prediction. Are we doing FPL again?
No, because I just ruined you.
Mate, you beat me by 100 points. I had Lukaku in and I didn't swap him out where you were still making changes. We're doing it again. And we're putting some money on it this time.
I don't know. It's a bit too much hassle.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it, but also I just think like we definitely won't commit to it, even if we put money on it.
No, but I think it's good fun just for the first few weeks and just to monitor it, even if we aren't going to stick to it.
It's more time consuming than anything.
Yeah, but
I was watching like FPL videos all the time at the start.
But I wasn't. So this
yes, you were. We were watching them post-workout all the time.
Yeah, and you tell a lie, mate. When we actually watched them post-workout, didn't you say half the time, I watched this one this morning?
Yeah, I was doing cardio.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Right. If you had the knowledge, you have now.
Shannon was like, oh, is that a -4 and stuff? She knows the terminology.
I was asking you, mate, what's a wild card? And you were
you weren't, you liar.
Right, if you had the knowledge you have now of training and nutrition when you started, would you use that to be completely optimal or would you just have fun with it initially?
I think I would use it to be completely optimal, but in hindsight, I would then regret that I didn't just piss about and enjoy it.
Yeah, you have to piss about and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's good, but you wouldn't know at the time. You wouldn't know that you wish you'd have done that. You'd be like, oh, well, I know what I'm doing, so I'll do this, this, and this. But looking back, you'd probably think, oh, maybe I should have just enjoyed it a bit more. Not necessarily enjoyed it a bit more, because I enjoy it now, but just it's good to make mistakes because you learn from it. So like we said, people need to have those years where they're sort of working things out for themselves. And we wouldn't take on a client who's never stepped in a gym because you don't need to really. Like they'll be better off learning themselves for a little bit at least, like either maybe getting a PT, but even so, I would argue you don't need a PT. You just need a bit of confidence to, go in and try different things, use YouTube, use social media, And once you start taking it really seriously, or you start taking it more seriously, and you think, right, I can get more out of this, then that is when it'd be worth hiring a coach. But yeah, like it's good to have that time period where you're sort of learning things, working things out by making mistakes.
Fully agree.
This is from JP MVMT. You know,
I thought JP, and I was like, is that trained by JP?
No, my client Jack. You know, the guy that's going to be novice next year.
Yes.
Yeah. He put sleep, pros, cons, wake up when body clock wakes you, or go back to bed for an extra hour.
It depends on how long you slept for. Like, it really depends on how long you slept for. I don't really think we can answer much more than that. We could go into the intricacies, but I would just say, it depends really how long you slept for. And if you're tired when you wake up, you potentially could reassess why you're tired.
Yeah, like if your body clock's waking you up after 5 hours, then I would go back to sleep. If it's waking you up after 7.5, then I'd say you sound getting up at that point. You don't need to get maybe an extra hour, let's say. You could also say that more sleep is better, but let's say that extra hour puts you an hour behind of getting your meals in and puts you an hour behind on work, so you feel a bit more sluggish, not got as much time to do your steps or your cardio or whatever it may be. Like, you almost need to find a point that suits you. If you can have that set time where you can just go to bed and not set an alarm, then amazing. Yeah, like I wish I could do that, but ultimately I have to make sure that I'm up at a certain time. And I know if I didn't set an alarm, I know that I'd wake up at a similar time every day anyway. But when I know that if I wake up half an hour, an hour later, I'm already behind with work. So it's like, yeah, I think depends on the situation.
Wakes me up. My anxiety wakes me up.
No, but if you let's say you're a student and you've got let's say you're a student and your uni's finished or something, you've got no responsibilities, you've not got a job. Like, I wouldn't set an alarm. I'd just go to bed at a reasonable time, and I'd probably go to bed at like 10, half 10, and I'd just get up when my body gets me up, and I'd probably wake up at about 7 most days, something like that. And I'd just keep that routine. But it depends on the situation.
Yeah, no, I agree. Thoughts on pump style workouts as a method of reducing fatigue / like devoluming. So instead of, let's say, like a deload, go in, move some blood around, get a pump, go home. We've spoke about this. We've never done it, but we spoke about it, haven't we?
Yeah, because we said it's like we often feel when we have complete time off, we feel worse.
Yeah.
We almost feel like training keeps us glued together. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I think if you go in and it sort of takes away from that aspect of a deload where you lose your routine, which a lot of people don't like, then you could easily go in and you can do whatever approach works for you. So some people might like a devolume because going in and just doing a pump session will be really boring for them. Other people might really like that and feel like, it's nice to not have to do any demanding sets really, or get sort of to any sort of mental arousal because they're not having to train hard. Like, people might like that, and that's fine. And it's not a bad idea. It's not going to do you any harm. But then you could also argue like a devolume approach isn't really going to do you any harm. With a devolume, you've got the negative that your joints, tendons, ligaments aren't really going to get time to properly repair and recover when you're doing a devolume, especially if you're still, doing your normal set. Like, say you're doing a top set on a big movement, even though you're not doing the back off, it's still demanding. But you could also argue that a pump session is still going to be mentally demanding. You're still having to get to the gym. You're still having to do your pre-workout.
Glycogen as well.
Yeah, it's
more.
There's a number of different things that go into it. So I would say, and it's a very generic answer as it always can be, but I'd say, what do you want to do? What is going to be best for you as an individual? I like a devolume because it's simple. So I'll literally just say to my clients, right, you're going to do one set less than you would usually do, and you're not going to do any intensifiers, and you're not going to take any reps that 50-50 reps or forced reps. It's pretty simple to follow. If you say to someone, right, you're going to go in, you're going to do a pump session, you're going to leave 5 RIR on everything, people are going to be like, well, I don't know exactly what 5 RIR is. And you could easily have someone doing 2 extra sets and pretty much all within very close proximity to failure, and they actually feel more battered than they did before. So yeah, there's loads of things really, but it's not a bad idea if you were to perform it well. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I'll do two of them in a row because one of them is from Miles Mason saying fancy a bum. I'm all right, mate. I had enough throughout the past couple of days with him being here. The next one is from Ben Carlin. He says it's in my DMs. 5 new messages.
That photo of his bum, and he wants a bum.
No, so this is the guy who made up Big Finner. This is Miles's client who used to train, went to uni and trained at. I've told you this before. Trained at Pure Gym. He's put Finner. So I don't miss it on your story tomorrow. I'm going to send you questions now. On a scale of creepy to illegal, how was meeting Miles? And thoughts on Miles's trim. Would this be improved if bleached? So first of all, like Miles is sound, but he is a little bit creepy. But I quite like.
He's a nice odd.
He knows he's odd. It's part of him, isn't it? It's a good odd. He is a bit strange, but he's a nice lad. It was good. It was good to meet him. I did enjoy meeting him. My thoughts on his trim, it's a bit shit. I don't think bleaching it's going to sort it out, but he likes it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, he's very confident with it. But I question that confidence. Like, is it a bit over the top where he has to sell it to himself? Because the amount of times he looked and went, "Oh, mate, this is a good trim."
He kept saying, didn't he? This mullet is fire. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was a bit like, if you actually believed it, you wouldn't need to say it. So yeah.
And mullet's like in now though.
Don't know.
But I think they're in for people that aren't really in. You know, like Miles, like he's
All right, see you later.
Yeah, bye. He's doing trends that you getting influenced by trendsetters that you shouldn't be getting influenced by.
Yeah, I agree. Right, GB Fitness said square go ? Do you get that? Square go?
Do my glasses look weird when I do this?
You look cool, man.
Square go.
Yeah. I have no idea.
My clock small.
Yeah. Square go. Square go. No, not sure.
Square go.
Square go. All right. Ethan, most optimal time to do cardio?
Whenever suits you in your routine. You could argue that doing it fasted is going to elicit a little bit more of a fat loss, potential sort of fat loss response. But like realistically, if you're using fat burners, yeah, but even then it's still a small percentage. So whenever works best in your routine, whenever you can fit it in, I would try and keep it set the same. Let's say you're doing cardio every day, like try and keep it at the same time. So you're not chopping and changing and going, oh shit, it's 9 p.m. and I've still got cardio to do. Try and keep it at a set time every day, but that actual set time doesn't really matter.
I always try and say, like, what you mentioned in regards to, so first and foremost, if you're not utilising any lipolytics, like, there's going to be no difference. If anything, you're probably going to be in a better state to do it fed because you're going to have more energy from the actual food itself. Therefore, you could probably do a slightly greater amount of intensity and you're probably going to be a bit more fueled. So that's something you could think about. But then also, you've got to remember, like, it shouldn't be invasive towards your training. So if you are training in the morning, probably doing your cardio in the morning isn't going to be a good idea. So I try and space it out. So if you're training, let's say, first thing in the morning, don't do your cardio first thing in the morning. I would try and potentially, you could do it post-workout, but you could argue from a psychological standpoint, finishing your session, then hopping on a piece of cardio equipment, probably not going to be too ideal. Also, just from a glycogen standpoint, replenishment of glycogen, probably, again, not too ideal after you trained. So I would most likely try and give yourself the most amount of time frame between your session and likewise do it whenever suits. But if you are utilizing lipolytics, obviously there's going to be a slight bit of a benefit in a fasted state.
Yeah, I just think it depends. Like, if let's say someone works like a shift pattern where, let's say, they're working like 8 till 8, something like that, like, and they're trying to get training in and cardio in, like, it's going to be difficult. You probably would say, right, get to the gym early, train, do your cardio after training, and then go to work. But yeah, it just depends on that individual and their situation.
I agree.
This is quite good, actually, leading on from that. AJ Balwa, how would you structure training around a job you have to commute for?
Ooh. It would depend on the time of when he's commuting. So
yeah, I think, like, ultimately, let's imagine you're having to commute an hour both ways. Then you're probably going to be out the house for a long time. So in regards to structuring, like, how would you structure training? Training doesn't really change. Like you just choose whether you train before or after work based on what you'd prefer and what time you start. Like, I think we've always said, like, if we were to work like a 9 till 5, we like, let's say it was like a active job as well, we would probably train beforehand because you'd have to get up really early, but you'd get used to that and you'd end up being able to train to a higher standard than, let's say, after you've done 20,000 steps a day or you've been laying bricks all day, let's say, if that was a job. But yeah, again, it depends on the exact job. It depends on the exact hours. But actual training itself would only need to change if your time is like massively limited. Say you can only train for an hour. Obviously, I programmed AJ's training. So if you can only train for an hour, then we'd manipulate it. But I imagine he'll still be able to train as normal. It'll just be that he can't train during work now. It'll be before or after. And we'll have to, it'd be more so, the main thing you need to change is going to be your nutrition. Moving things around, meal timings will be a bit different. But yeah, like there's not going to be any huge training changes other than just the time that you train.
And probably because of the demands, it would make sense to drop to a maintenance phase to allow for the change in structure.
That being said, like I had his check-in today, and like we are holding body weight for now because he's in a transitional period with work.
If you don't mind, what's he gone for? Because he was working at the gym, wasn't he? So is he doing anything differently, or is it a different sort of avenue?
I'd have to double check with him, mate. I'm sure he said it was something to do, like it was something about recruiting, but I don't know whether he was telling me that someone spoke to him who was trying to recruit him or whether the job is recruiting. So I'd have to double check with him. But yeah, that's, you know, what I put on my story the other day where the client messaged me like about getting a new job, and they'd put like, when I first started, I remember you saying that like taking this process isn't just like a step up in terms of your training. It's like in everyday life as well, and you can better yourself and get a better job.
Yeah.
Put it on my story. That was AJ. Shout out AJ.
Wicked. Right. I've been training seriously for about 3 years. Want to start a cycle, but haven't a clue where to start.
No.
Even to ask. Any advice would be appreciated. Love the podcast. Well, thanks. I won't say your name.
I was joking, mate. I was joking. Thank you for loving
it. Thanks for the question, and likewise, thanks. And great to hear that you appreciate the podcast. I love the podcast. To be fair, I always find this interesting because I quite like the phrase. It's very bro, but like if you don't know where to get stuff from, you shouldn't be on it, because you should most likely have built connections or at least have a rough idea. That's something that I remember being told when I was about like 17. I thought that's probably quite a good point. If you're actively searching for it, sometimes you're unlucky, you might train in a poor gym and you might not have the availability, but what I would usually say as a rule of thumb is probably invest in a coach. There's plenty of good ones out there who are going to provide you a good level of knowledge, not push drugs. Don't go to a top bodybuilding coach, because I'm not going to say they're going to push drugs, but more so a sense that they're probably just going to be unfortunately probably are. I would go for a coach who has a very good understanding of how, let's say, PEDs work, and I would almost want, if I was a client, if I was in a position, I would want a coach, which I know plenty of coaches do, and unfortunately plenty of coaches don't. They lay out the pros and the cons of absolutely any avenue you take, and then from a client perspective, it's upon you to potentially put in some research on your own and then come to a conclusion with the understanding given from a coach, so you can actually get the most out of the least and then be in the best way possible. What you shouldn't do is research in the wrong areas, go onto Reddit and see that you have to take 300 megs a test or 500 megs a test.
300 megs a test on Monday.
On Monday.
All together at one go.
Not have a single clue. Get an AI just because it says on one forum, you need an AI.
Half a tab every time you
half a tab every time you jab.
Because it rhymes. Just because it rhymes, that's the only premise behind that. Half a tab when you jab.
Exactly, and then end up in a rabbit hole where your hormones are all out of whack. You've utilised way too many milligrams for where you're at in that moment, and then you have to end up doing more long-term or scale back and just accept that the results you're going to get are probably not going to be linear as they potentially should be as you're utilising more anabolics. So like I said, I'd most likely take a step back, I'd research on your own, I'd look for a coach who's got the recommended and the amount of knowledge needed to take you up to that level, and therefore I'd probably, like I said, talk to a coach, get them to explain the absolute ins and outs, and then you make the decision with the understanding given to you by the coach. I think that's how somebody should approach it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
someone in the gym and
say,
Don't go up to somebody in the gym, because the vast majority, like you hear gym combos and they're like, oh yeah, bro, I'm on 300 megs a tren, I'm on this, like the amount of crap I've heard, and it's ridiculous.
There's that much information out there. Like, it's not that difficult to find. Like, obviously, if you just Google, what should I take? Like, what do you think you're going to find? Like, it's going to be pretty shit, and it's probably not going to be very sort of health focused. It's going to be anybody can literally just put on a forum, oh, I took this, or use this, use that. Yeah, and a lot of the time as well, you've got people trying to sell you stuff. So often where someone might be saying, use this, use that, they're probably trying to sell you stuff. But yeah, there's enough content out there now. Like, you've got the Physique Collective site, you've got JP's site, which obviously he covers. You know, he's got videos from years and years ago covering PDs. But ultimately, like Reece said, like if you're at the level where you wouldn't really know where to find information, let alone where to source drugs, you're probably not at a level yet where you need to. And also, like, you got to look at, you know, what are your actual long-term, short-term and long-term goals. Like, the main reason that most people jump on gear is because they just want to look a bit bigger and they want to be the biggest guy in their gym.
It's for ego fulfillment standpoint purposes. That's literally the vast majority, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why you did it.
Yes, 100%.
But no, it's like obviously, I'll joke about you being a big cheat. Like, I have no issue with anybody being on gear. I'm not against it in any way, shape, or form. I like joking about it because it's just a thing that we joke about. But if you are going to do it, just be smart. Like, you know, it's not that difficult nowadays to get the required information that you need, to not be an idiot and to do it safely. But also understand that to build a good physique, you really don't need to be enhanced. Like, there's loads and loads and loads of people who have got a decent physique who aren't enhanced. Yeah, they might look a bit smaller in clothes because they're natural, but they also probably train a lot harder. They probably eat a lot better. They probably get a better routine, better sleep, you know, all these kind of things that you can easily do to improve your physique rather than just being like, oh, I'm going to go to this. But yeah, again, it's like, it's not an issue if you feel like that's the next step. But again, you know, like I always say when people ask that, I think unless you've really got the genetics to be at a high level, it's probably not worth the financial cost and the health cost.
Yeah, agreed. Right, how many do you have more, mate? 'Cause I have like 2 more.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I think I've just got one.
Perfect. This
is from Chip Johnson, one of my new clients. He's made a very good start. Yeah, Chip did Chip. Will the quality of your calories impact your physique if macros are still met, e.g. carbs from sugar? Good question.
Yeah, good question, Chippy. Thanks for that, big Chip. So when it comes to, let's say, if we were consuming
his name's actually Christopher, I believe.
Oh, well, fair enough.
I might be wrong. Christian? I should really know his name, but his actual name came up on his Go Card list, but I called him Chip because he put Chip on his application.
Therefore, he's Big Chip. Big Chip. Thanks for that. Well, if you're going to be consuming, let's say, Chip, I would probably be consuming a carbohydrate that's, mate, fuck off. I wasn't trying to be funny.
You were. Yes, you were trying to be funny.
I wasn't trying to that wasn't me trying to be funny. It was me trying to be an awkward joke. That's the reaction I want. So, yeah.
Fuck off.
About 5-6 years ago, the if it fits your macro approach was so popular because people were like, I can diet on eating ice cream and eating all this. And in reality, like, you almost have to look at the actual, like, yes, 1 carb equates to 4 calories, 1 protein equates to 4 calories, 1 gram of fat equates to 9 calories. It doesn't always result in the same sort of performance yielding benefits or likewise recovery benefits. So yeah, I definitely say that it's not going to make a massive, it will make a big difference long term, but short term, it's not really going to. But if you're looking to be somewhat optimal, I would most likely assess the food choices and be like, okay, it's probably better to get, let's say, a good quality of fat source instead of me eating Easter eggs and thinking, oh yeah, that's going to be my fat content today. I'm going to have a whole Easter egg or a bag of chips. A big chip.
Bag of chippies. Yeah, it's again, it's one of those kind of things. It's like a small percentage in regards to the difference it's going to make, but it's going to add up long term. So if you're hitting your macros bang on every single day, but let's say your micronutrient value, or your micronutrient intake is low, so you're not getting really, let's say, any decent level of micronutrients in through fruit, veg, let's say your fiber's really low, you're probably going to start feeling pretty shit. Even though your macros are being hit, you're probably not going to feel the best. That will impact your training performance. It will impact your ability to digest food and your assimilation of that food and your sleep. So long term, and even really, you got to think in terms of like a knock-on effect. that is going to impact your training, which is then going to impact your physique. So it's like directly, it's not going to have a huge impact, but indirectly over a period of time, it is going to make a difference. And it does add up. Like, if you were to do that day in, day out, it's going to be a massive issue. But if you were to do it just now and again, because let's say it's your birthday and you're like, oh, I'm going to go out for a meal and my food quality is not going to be as good. I'm going to have a dessert, but I'm going to try and hit my macros closely. Realistically, it's not an issue. And also, because you asked about carbs from sugar, a lot of people worry too much about this. Like, especially when you're on a lot of carbs, which a lot of us are going to be when we're trying to fuel performance, your sugar intake is going to be pretty high, especially if you've got a decent amount of fruit in the diet, if you've got things like jam, if you've got things like cereal, like your sugar intake is going to be relatively high, but it's not going to be a massive, massive issue. And if you are worried about things like, potentially having, your blood sugar levels being too high, then you can always track your blood glucose using a blood glucose monitor, which is really easy to do. Because a lot of people worry that they're just going to develop diabetes because they've eaten 800 carbs for a week. I'm not saying that Chip is worried about that.
Yeah, they got brain fog because they've got over
800, over 800.
Right, when pressing, mate, do you tend to use leg drive for better stability? Well, this was the Sanaya Classic, wasn't it?
Yeah, you use hip drive.
Yeah. Why do you not want to, when you flat bench, do you not want to not use your legs because therefore you'll activate your chest better? Sanaya Kelly, 2021.
You want a little bit of glute max as well, don't you? Just a little bit exactly. For the hip.
Especially, she'd say now, 100%, because she's wellness.
Yeah, she's wellness, so wellness. So I wouldn't recommend that you really try and sort of create a huge amount of leg drive, but I would argue you got to think, let's say you had your feet in the air, you're probably not going to feel very stable and you're not going to feel like you can generate much force. So I would say lock your feet down.
We know.
No, don't say it.
Equates to force. Sign up for the payment.
Lock your feet down. Create that force through the floor consistently, and you want to be sort of pressing yourself back into the seat or the bench or the machine throughout, and you will create a bit more force when you're pressing in that change of direction, but not so excessively that your hips and your knees are all over the place every rep. That's directed at you, mate.
Cheers. Right, is that you done?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, I had one more for Macamorris, and it was literally like, who's going to win more overall titles from coaching? So I'm already 1-0 ahead because I've got an overall title myself. So and
I coach you, so it's 1-0 to me.
I don't know about that, mate. No.
Mate, you can't say you coach yourself. If you coached yourself, you wouldn't have competed. You had me on the phone every morning, like, mate, come on, you can get up, you can do it.
Honestly, please, Reece, get your cardio done. Honestly, mate, you'll think it's worth it at the end. I was like, Finn, I just can't do it. And then after prep, I said I absolutely loved it. I was like, oh, mate.
After prep, we were like, oh, I was amazing during prep. I loved it. Yeah, all right.
This is all a joke. No, but to be fair, like, if you think about it, like, I'd say we have a few boys who have a good shot, but our overall title's fucking hard. We'll see. I wouldn't say, like, anybody. Nobody's
Butcher's wet dream this weekend.
Yeah, that's the one. We'll just say whoever's our next client coming up, that's what the goal is. That's the overall, because we've always come in for everything. Right, other than that, guys, hopefully everyone's doing well. It's probably going to cut us off. Thanks for all the story tags. Thanks for all the comments, questions, likes, shares, everything. Once you're in merch coming soon, we're going to put a poll with the design. And other than that, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye.